Hi everybody, I have to reschedule of my teachings here and everything, and I have to do this. And since it was supposed to be yesterday, um, well, there's a lot of chances. Oh, this is in full screen. No, it's okay. I don't want to be in full screen. But anyways, there's a lot of things going on around here, and well. We're bringing you up the basic Japanese again, 101, which I started. I think I'm going to start it again by this, and there's a scheduled one tomorrow by Louis Vuitton. So if you want to check that out, there's no problems with me. As long as we can do this, it's okay. It's really totally okay. Well, I'm just black. I'm just testing out the waters. Anyways, Jed, we're trying to make it a basic Japanese 101, which is focusing on the uh, greetings, most especially greetings. And greetings are there's a lot of greetings here in Japanese words, which is are related uh, to other languages such as Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese by kanji or characters, and plain English by English. It's hiragana. We have three writings here, which are more, I can say, which are more complicated than other. Well, Chinese are more complicated than Japanese because they have three languages, such as the Mandarin, the Pekingese, and the Cantonese, and it differs uh, from what place you are staying. So it is quite more. Oops, it's quite more interesting that there's a huge possibility that Japanese is not that complicated at all. No, not at all. And oops, or I'm just clicking out who's subscribing. That's why, and I don't know when. And let's see about that. There you go. Well, I'm just a week old in Fire Talk, and you can see that. You can see if somebody pops in, you'll be a guest, so you can have a chat on me and 101, so we can have this discussion again, if you like to. Well, I'm not forcing everybody to jump in right now. So we have the typical Japanese 101, which starts with greetings. For example, it's Ohio, which is expressed just in the United States, the state Ohio, which is good morning. And then there's the Konnichiwa, which is good afternoon. And then Konbanwa, which is good evening. And we have Oyasumi Nasai, which is good night. And furthermore, there is itadakimasu. That you should you should say before eating, and that's a respect already before you eating. Itadakimasu, itadakimasu, and then there is a word that doesn't this two word doesn't exist in the English word itadakimasu and gotsosama. Gotsosama is after you eat. Before you eat, it's itadakimasu. After you eat, it's gotsosama, which is you're always. I mean, it's an appreciation already that you're saying you're full and the food is great. Here in Japan, we don't use those terms. We don't use the longest terms, just like in English. We are more on the very conservative side that we express our words small, in a small in a very small, very small word, but it has a lot of impact. And there is also the word uh, if you're going out and if you're coming in back home. There is itirashai when you say bye and I'm going out. And then when there's somebody is coming in, there is okaeri nasai, okaeri nasai, which is more, uh, well, did you have a great day? Since we don't express those words in the longest way, we have those terms. Those terms doesn't exist in the English world, and I can tell you, this is only in Japan that it's only in the Japanese language that this exists. Well, we here are more on those terms that you cannot find the English words, but if you're here in Japan and using those terms, I think this is the basic that you have to understand and to use. One thing I have to give you one point is listening. Listening to the natives or me who can speak as I mean, forget about the accent. The accent will come later on that time, and it is going to be a little complicated when you have those accents with you because it's hard to find, it's hard to get the accent before you can have that one. And and one thing more, uh, there's a lot of more. I mean, there's a lot of words that you know exist in the English word that we don't have, and we have an English word that the English word don't have. It's Japanese English, which everybody is, you know, what's this? Trying to make fun of us, but it's okay because it doesn't exist. And what they expect, they just have to play around for those words. I mean, for me, when I got here and don't have any type, just English that I know and Spanish and a little bit, excuse me, a little bit of German because I've traveled a lot. And when it comes to Japanese, it gives me a certain break, and that's why I got interested of that. I really got interested of that, and well, getting interest is one thing. You don't have to study and put on your mind that you're going to study. No, it's not. You have to make. You have to be interested in what you're doing, and that's much more important. The best thing is, you don't have to say, "Okay, this is I'm going to do." No, the first thing is hearing, then knowing the words, listening to the words, knowing the meaning. Then you have that in mind that you are already know what it is, and then put up together those words in a week. You have already one sentence, and there you go. And I can assure you, upon upon learning this language, in 6 months, you can have a sentence and you can uh, say or communicate in a way that is very easy. That is very easy, and it needs practice, of course. Practice makes perfect, and you don't want to mess it up. I know there's a lot of chance that there is one language this, one language that. Well, I've tried a lot of this. I'm teaching in my this is my day job, and I've got to use already to have this kind of stuff with me. So I'm not used to. I'm used to this one, and I'm used already to for those questions and answers. And as much as possible, I tried my best to give the best of everything and say what it is. And There we go. So there's the five. There's the greetings already. Repeat. I will repeat again so you can refresh. Ohayo means good morning. Konnichiwa is good afternoon. Konbanwa is good evening. Oyasumi nasai, it's good night. And itadakimasu, which is after, before you take a meal. And then Gotsosama, I was forgetting it. Gotsosama, it's before eating, and then Iterashai, which is you're going, and then when you're coming home, uh, Okaeri nasai. And the proper, I mean, if you want a formal word for thank you, you can say arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. For casual things, it's Ohio, just like that, just like something, Ohio. And then there is simasen, which is also the same as Ohio, but in a different term. Sumimasen means excuse me. So if you want to say something, just say simasen. It's okay. They will understand you for that. So these are the words first that you have to understand, and you have to put that in mind. And the replay will be there. So if you want to catch up with that, practice, listen, and then that's the time you pick up the words. Then if you are old school, write it down, then don't know the meaning, practice, and then uh, there you go. In 6 months, I can guarantee you that they will have uh, you know this simple a simple conversation already, and which is great. So we'll see about that. And we're going to see you in Basic 101, 102, which is tomorrow. I will schedule it. I will just pop out because if I schedule it, yeah, I'm having a hard time. But tomorrow, before I go, no, tomorrow is Louis Vuitton. Thursday, Thursday, I'll be back again, but for the Basic 102, because tomorrow I'll be by the Louis Vuitton. So it's already in schedule. So if you're interested, there's the ticket. It's $1, and you have the best of everything though. So we'll see you tomorrow in Louis Vuitton's event, and this is the Basic 101. Arigato from Tokyo, and we'll see you again for the next Fire Talk. Mata ne. ありがとうございます。